way. So going east and going north and south. So they've got squares, 10-foot squares made up. And this is another photo, and he's trying to show you the features and the pits. And he says the depth of the humus, the shape of the pits, and the depths of the pits are clearly shown here. And I think that's a pretty good shot. I'm not sure. Can you see it that clearly up there? Here's a pit. Another feature here. Some more here. And the truth of the matter is there were 12 fire pits found in 1931 there. That's a lot. And I'm just going to point out a couple of the pits real quick. Because they're basically, the ones I'm going to show are just a little bit more. All of them had flint chips, fire brick, ash, wood ash. Obviously, they're fire pits. Pit number 2, although he labeled it number 1 in his report, was a broken roller pestle, and that was the only pestle found in the group. And a carapace of a small turtle in that one as well, probably an effigy. Pit number 5 had a sternum of a duck. Pit number 7, he didn't there. He skipped it. Actually, the end of the page was 6. She turned to the next page and it started at 8. Kids. No, kids. Yep. Pay attention. Pit 11. And it had a bone harpoon, 3.5 inches long in that one. And 2 arrow points. There's arrow points throughout there, and I'll talk about that in just a second. And that next one, you see it had another bone harpoon out there. Interestingly enough, he said throughout the Abhe-Brennan site, there were only triangular arrow points. Triangular arrow points. Wide-based triangular arrow points. If you look at wide-based triangular arrow points, guys, collectors, what kind of a date do you put on those? About European contact time, right? About that time, right? Iroquois? True? Join in. I just want to make that point, okay? So about 1500, that's about the time that you'd find these arrow points showing up. And triangular Iroquois. True? Guys? Do you agree?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm trying to make a point. Help me out here. They're like, you're not leading me down that path. No way. You're going by yourself. All right. Let me try to wake you guys up a little bit. Jeez. Okay. Tell me, what do you think the most common animal bone remains were at this site? Animal bones. What are the most common?
Rabbit.
Anybody else?
Deer. Dog.
Deer. Virginia deer. All right? Here's another question for you. Largest animal bone found at the site. Abhe-Brennan site, largest animal. It's pretty good, no? I wish. No. Is that? Moose, you're closer.
Elk.
Elk. That's it. Elk was actually found there. Other bone fragments were the jaw of a black bear. See? Raccoon. Domestic dog about the size of a fox. Another one about the size of a collie. Tooth of a beaver. And the humerus of a large bird, unidentified. Boy, that could be a heron, a vulture, and God knows, right? You get a whole bunch of those big birds around here. And then I was upset because he didn't bring back that sternum of the duck. Gosh darn it, I thought that was pretty neat, man. Sternum of the duck. Put that back in there, even though he didn't. There were also 2 burials at this site. And I found these to be very interesting because the truth of the matter is I've seen the pictures of these burials forever, and some things that I read in this report made me go back and look again and find some things I'd never seen before. The first burial is the adult male, approximately 50 years old, and I am going to show this because I think it's important archaeologically to see. The burial 2, I'm not going to show. It's the child just past the age of 6 in a small coffin made of white pine. Jeff?
Where is this Brennan site again now?
The Brennan site's down on Main Street.
Oh. They kind of dug right there in the middle of Main Street?
Yeah, it's actually right where that narrowing is, on the east side. And the interesting thing about the burial too is that that child was in a white pine coffin. That comes into play. So here's that 50-year-old male, and here are the important parts that you want to know. First of all, that trade pipe. If you look right up here, he's got a trade pipe laying right on his chest. You see that? That's a trade pipe, and if you looked out here, actually we've got some trade pipes that look a lot like that. Griffin goes on to say, white artifacts with the burial consisted of white clay pipe with a broken bowl and a thin object of iron, not yet identified. Truthfully, it never was. It was at first thought that the monogram, IB, on the side of the bowl of the white clay pipe found would be of great help in determining the age of the site. While other clay pipes have been found with rough dates assigned to them, none of them previously have been found to carry the same mark. Don, did you see the IB there on the side of the bowl?
Yeah.
It's on the side of the bowl, not on the heel.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. I've looked all over. I can't find it.
It says down there 1747 to 1774.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Okay. I'll tell you what he came up with from Michigan, but I'll tell you this was a long time ago, and you're probably closer. I don't know. He says, my interpretation is the site is post-European because of the clay pipe being found there and the piece of iron, because the Native Americans didn't have iron. And he said 1650 to 17. I think just, later on, we learn more and there a little more. I have not been able to find that IB on the side of the bowl. That's the thing. We find the IB on the heel, that little piece underneath the bowl. On the side, it's just, I don't find it. The other thing that was important about this site, and you don't really pick up on right away, is this pottery at the foot. Right on his feet, there's this broken pottery. And he says at the feet of the burial, both above and below the skeleton, many large and small potsherds of more than one vessel were found. If it could be definitely stated that the pottery at the feet was a burial offering, the burial could be unhesitatingly assigned to the age of the surrounding pits. Ellsworth Cowles actually chimed in on this one in his report. He said, while one of the jars at the feet indicates Iroquois influence, the other is so-called Algonquian shape. It could have been coexistent in an Algonquian village recently coming under influence of the Iroquois. What he's trying to say is cultures were clashing. Cultures were coming together and taking on, parts of the other. And he wonders, Ellsworth wondered if, because there were two different types of pots, Iroquois and Algonquin are two total different cultures, if they weren't coming together down in Athens for some reason. This is an Algonquin jar. And that was actually found right next to the skeleton. And this is what Griffin said about that. After the skeleton had been removed, the large pot was discovered to the east of the burial area, found mouth down. It was whole when it was discovered, but the weight of the earth had cracked it so that it came apart when uncovered. The pit in which the restored pot was found was almost certainly separate from the excavated 50-year-old skeleton. And he gives you the dimensions there. It was 11.5 inches tall. The mouth was 8 inches wide, the circumference was 28 inches. It's a pretty good sized pot.